the humble soybean is a global powerhouse. It's a key ingredient in animal feed, making meat, milk, and eggs affordable worldwide. Soybeans are crushed for oil and meal, fueling economies and feeding millions. This tiny bean is a critical link in the global food chain. Without soybeans, our diets and economies would look very different. The world's appetite for soybeans grows every day. The soybeans journey is a story of global trade and interdependence. No country is self-sufficient. Trade connects farmers and consumers across continents. Smooth trade means prosperity, but disruptions ripple worldwide. A tariff in one country can devastate farmers in another. China is the world's largest soybean buyer, driven by its massive pork industry. As Chinese incomes rise, so does demand for meat and soybeans. China now imports more soybeans than the rest of the world combined. Where China buys its beans can make or break fortunes for farmers thousands of miles away. For decades, the US was China's top supplier, dominating the market. But the global soybean map is changing. A new challenger has emerged, shaking up the old order. This shift is causing big problems for American farmers. The golden bean now symbolizes a new economic reality. The stakes are high, and the world is watching. The story of soybeans is the story of our interconnected future. What happens to this little bean affects us all. The soybeans' journey is just beginning. For years, American farmers ruled the soybean world. The Midwest's fertile plains made the U.S. the global leader in soy production. States like Illinois and Iowa became synonymous with soybeans. Generations of farmers invested in technology and infrastructure. The U.S. could outproduce and out-export anyone. China's economic boom made it America's most important customer. Billions of dollars flowed into rural communities thanks to soybean exports. Reliable infrastructure, rivers, railways, ports kept U.S. soybeans moving efficiently. Farmers planned their futures around this partnership. But this dominance came with risk. Over a third of U.S. soybeans went to China. The U.S. became dangerously dependent on a single buyer. Few imagined this trade link could break, but the American soybean empire was built on fragile ground. The world was about to change. The U.S. had grown comfortable at the top, but comfort breeds vulnerability. The storm was coming and few were prepared. The golden era of American soy was about to end. The next chapter would test the resilience of U.S. farmers. The global soybean game was about to be rewritten. The king was about to be challenged. And the world would never be the same. In 2018, a trade war erupted between the U.S. and China. The U.S. imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, hoping to force economic concessions. China retaliated, targeting American soybeans with a 25% tariff. Overnight, U.S. soybeans became too expensive for Chinese buyers. Orders dried up, ships turned around, and prices crashed. Silos overflowed with unsold beans. Farmers faced mounting losses. Years of trust between U.S. farmers and Chinese buyers evaporated. China saw the U.S. as an unreliable supplier. The trade war wasn't just politics, it was personal for farmers. Livelihoods were threatened and uncertainty ruled. Chinese buyers needed stability, so they looked elsewhere. The door was open for a new supplier. Brazil was ready to step in. The trade war didn't just disrupt trade, it rewrote the rules. American farmers were left behind as the world moved on. The consequences were immediate and severe. The U.S. lost its grip on the world's biggest soybean market. The global balance of power shifted. The American heartland felt the pain. The trade war's legacy would last for years. The soybeans' journey had taken a dramatic turn. The world was watching and learning. The next move belonged to Brazil. The game had changed. As U.S. soybeans lost favor, Brazil seized the moment. Already a major producer, Brazil became China's new top supplier almost overnight. U.S. exports to China plummeted. Brazil soared. Brazilian farmers enjoyed record profits and rapid expansion. New roads, railways, and ports sprang up, often with Chinese investment. Brazil transformed from an alternative supplier to China's preferred partner. The global soybean trade was fundamentally restructured. American farmers watched as their biggest market slipped away. Brazil's rise was swift and decisive. The economic windfall fueled further growth. More land was cleared, more beans were planted. Brazil's agricultural sector boomed. The U.S. faced a crisis of oversupply and falling prices. The trade war had backfired for American farmers. Brazil's ascent was unstoppable. The global map was redrawn. The new giant was here to stay. The world's soybean future now had a Brazilian accent. The U.S. would have to adapt or be left behind. Brazil's edge isn't just politics, it's economics. Land in Brazil's Cerrado is cheaper, letting farmers expand at lower cost. The tropical climate allows for 2 harvests a year. Double cropping boosts productivity. U.S. farmers with pricier land and shorter seasons can't match this scale. Brazil's weaker currency makes its beans even cheaper for global buyers. Chinese companies get more soy for their money in Brazil. Infrastructure is improving fast, thanks to massive investment. New highways and ports speed beans to market. The U.S. still has better infrastructure, but Brazil is closing the gap. All these factors combine to make Brazilian soybeans a bargain. For China, the choice is clear: buy more from Brazil. American farmers face a tough competitor. The economics of soy have shifted. Price, productivity, and logistics now favor Brazil. The global market has a new leader. For farmers, these global shifts are deeply personal. Take Dave Walton in Iowa. His family farm thrived on Chinese demand. The trade war changed everything. Prices collapsed and markets vanished. It was like the floor fell out from under us, Dave says. Farmers lost money on every bushel, with no buyers in sight. The stress was financial and emotional. Years of hard work and investment were suddenly at risk. Neighbors struggled, some losing land held for generations. Farmers are proud, they want fair trade, not handouts. The experience shattered old assumptions. Dependence on one customer proved too risky. We've learned a hard lesson, Dave reflects. Farmers are now searching for new markets and new strategies. Resilience is in their DNA. They will adapt, but trust has been broken. The landscape of American farming has changed forever. The pain is real, but so is the determination to survive. Farmers are writing a new chapter. The future is uncertain, but hope remains. The story of the American farmer is far from over. American farmers aren't giving up, they're adapting. Diversification is key. They're finding new markets beyond China. Countries like Mexico, Egypt, and Japan are now vital customers. Trade missions showcase the quality of U.S. soybeans worldwide. Many farmers are planting less soy, switching to corn, wheat, or even hemp. This spreads risk and stabilizes income. Domestic demand is also growing. Biofuels like biodiesel use more soy oil. More soy in animal feed boosts local consumption. The goal, a stronger, less vulnerable home market. Government aid has helped, but farmers want market solutions, not handouts. The focus is on resilience and innovation. American agriculture is evolving. The new playbook is about flexibility and survival. Farmers are determined to thrive in a changing world. The lessons of the trade war are shaping a smarter, stronger future. The American spirit endures. The next chapter is being written in the fields. Brazil's soybean boom comes at a steep environmental cost. The Cerrado, a unique savanna, is being cleared for new fields. This destroys habitats for rare wildlife and erodes biodiversity. Deforestation in the Cerrado and Amazon accelerates climate change. As soy expands, cattle ranchers push deeper into the rainforest. Chemical runoff pollutes rivers and degrades soil. The rush for profit often overlooks sustainability. Some companies have pledged not to buy soy from newly deforested Amazon land. Traceability efforts are growing, but the Cerrado remains vulnerable. Global consumers are demanding more responsible sourcing. The world is waking up to the true cost of cheap soybeans. The challenge: feed the world without destroying it. Brazil's choices will shape the planet's future. The environmental gamble is real, and the stakes are high. The soybean trade has redrawn the global map. The US is no longer the undisputed king, Brazil leads the way. China now buys from multiple countries, diversifying its supply. The market is more competitive and volatile than ever. Weather, politics, and policy can swing prices worldwide. Food companies face complex, risky supply chains. For farmers, adaptation is the new normal. American agriculture is becoming more innovative and resilient. The focus is shifting to sustainability and efficiency. The story of soybeans is a lesson in global interconnection. Decisions in one country ripple across continents. Trade is about more than money. It's about trust and the environment. The challenge: build a food system that's fair, resilient, and sustainable. The humble soybean remains at the heart of this global story. Its journey is far from over.